Hey everyone, welcome to the review video of our Group 24 LiTime heated Bluetooth battery and 40 amp DC to DC charger. We're going to let you in on our real world experience traveling with this LiTime battery and 40 amp DC to DC charger. And just so you know, LiTime was nice enough to send us these products in exchange for an honest review. So that's what we're going to do. I'd like to start off by saying that we've been using the LiTime mini batteries in our camper system for about 12 months of full-time, everyday travel now. They've worked just as good as the day we put them in, so we have faith in the LiTime product. With the Group 24 that we've installed in this truck, I need to say that this is a complete separate system from our truck camper. You might wonder, what are they doing in your truck, or why did you hook it up like that? So I'll just kind of break that down right off the bat. We have our 400 amp hour battery bank in the camper. We have a 2000 watt inverter in the camper, and that's a completely separate system. This battery is installed in the truck, charges from the truck with the DC to DC charger, and runs a 1000 watt inverter in the truck. So really this would work the same. You could use this DC to DC charger to charge the batteries in your camper. Works the same, but we're using it to charge the batteries in our truck. So with that out of the way, let's get into our experience with the LiTime Bluetooth Group 24 heated battery. Starting with the battery, compared to the lead acid deep cycle battery we had before, this battery has a lot more power. That's pretty obvious, should go without saying. Because you can draw a lithium battery down to zero, you have 100 amp hours of usable power. These LiTime batteries have been destructive tested on other channels on YouTube, so you can find a lot of that content if you want. There's a lot of testers who have loaded them beyond their max load, cut them apart, looked at the builds. You can look back at that. They're well-built batteries. From our experience, compared to the battery we had, yes, it has a lot more power. If we were running our inverter in the truck, which sometimes we use to charge our batteries in our camper while we're driving through AC voltage. With our old battery, if we would shut the truck off and there was nothing coming in to charge that battery, pretty quickly we get into a low voltage situation and have alarms go off and our inverter would shut down. With this 100 amp hour lithium battery now, no problem. We can run this thing for a long time, shut the truck off, go in for grocery shopping for maybe an hour or whatever we're doing. And it just keeps on charging those batteries in the camper. Another bonus of having this separate system in the truck is redundancy. If something was to go wrong with our system in the camper, we can still power our house power, which, you know, the cords you would plug into at a campground or whatever to power up your camper, we can power that up with this inverter in the truck. So even if we did have a failure in our system in the camper, we have a backup system. 400 amp hours in the truck camper, only 100 amp hours in the truck. So yeah, it's not as big of a system, but it suits our needs really for what we need day in and day out, and would give us a complete backup to the camper. But it also provides us AC power in the truck. We can run laptop and so on right off the inverter in the truck, which is a great bonus. Having the LiTime 40 amp DC to DC charger is much better than the system we had before. We only had a relay that turned on when the truck was running and connected our starting batteries to our deep cycle battery, which isn't an optimum way to do it. It was sort of a quick setup to get on the road. It served its purpose while we were traveling, but having this separate DC to DC charger is a much better way to do it. It keeps your lead acid starting batteries or whatever kind of starting batteries you have completely separate from your house battery. As far as the DC to DC charger goes, you can see in the install video, there is pulp ports where a small jumper wire, this is the jumper wire that's supplied from LiTime, is connected across the ports. One that turns the DC to DC charger on. So if you want to charge your batteries, those need to be connected together. This is maybe one of my gripes with the DC to DC charger. Really, this is not a solution unless you want that thing turned on all the time. But then when you're parked overnight, you're charging your house battery. So that's fine if you stop for the day with a house battery that's fully charged, then it's not really drawing anything to charge your house battery. If you were to shut off your vehicle for the night when your house battery is not fully charged, though, you're going to be drawing power from your starting battery to charge that house battery. So really, you should have a way to turn it off. Wiring it to a switch, that's maybe, accessible, but then you need to remember to turn it on and off. Or running an alternator wire so your alternator signal turns it on. All you need to do is supply power to one of the terminals, because one of them is just a power output, putting power to the other terminal. So if you supplied power from your alternator, say an alternator signal wire, that would turn your DC to DC charger on. I have another solution I'll show you that I used. While we were traveling on the road, I only had a toggle switch in there so I could turn it on and off as I needed it. It was sort of a quick temporary solution, which is great, but you need to remember to turn it off. As far as the 20 amp output that I'm using to charge this battery, I did speak with LiTime support. They recommended charging it at 20 amps. They say it would take 40, but not something, doing it on a regular basis could affect your battery life. When we are charging the house batteries in the camper, all of that 20 amps is going to the back, really. So I'm not gaining anything on my house battery in the truck. So in the future, I would like to add a switch to toggle between 40 and 20. So when we do have a big draw, and I can watch it on the app and see if I'm at a negative or a positive charge on this house battery in the truck. If I was at a bigger draw, I could bump up to the 40 amp output and then still charge my house battery at maybe 10 or 20 amps while the rest of it is going somewhere else. Then when we're not in a high draw load, I could switch back to the 20 amp charge. Just an option. But for now, instead of the jumper, I have a toggle switch in place on the 20 amp, 40 amp outlet ports. So I can still switch from the 20 to 40 amp output back at the DC to DC, but I probably will extend that up to the front later on. So I'm going to share with you my solution for turning the DC to DC charger on when you're driving the vehicle and off when you stop driving the vehicle. I'm sure the best solution is to run a alternator signal wire back to power the port when the alternator is making power. I chose a little bit of a simpler solution. I replaced the jumper with a little daytime running light module. These are inexpensive. I've used them before and had good luck. What this module does is it monitors the battery voltage, which is connected to the starting battery wire input on the DC to DC charger. When it sees the vehicle battery voltage go above 13 volts, it provides power to the output and turns the DC to DC charger on. When the vehicle alternator stops charging the vehicle battery and the battery drops down below 13 volts, this little module stops putting out power and turns off the DC to DC charger. Pretty simple solution. No extra wires run from the front of the vehicle to the back. Works for me. Probably my one pet peeve about the DC to DC charger, would it really be hard to put that circuitry in the charger and give you an option to have it turn on and off when battery voltage rises? I don't think it would be a big investment for LiTime to put that circuitry in the charger. Just a suggestion of mine. As far as the battery goes, just like our other LiTime batteries, this one performed excellent. If I had to pick anything that I could say negative, maybe the Bluetooth app. It is a great app. It seems to work really well. I did have a few instances where I turned the app on and it was connected, but the battery percentage information to me didn't seem right. And I turned my Bluetooth off and back on, and it reconnected and gave me an accurate reading. So it wasn't getting an accurate reading right away. So really, that was the only issue I had. It did connect well. The range seemed decent enough. And pretty awesome having that app, because if you wanted to build a simple solar system in your camper, you wouldn't need to put a battery monitor system. You could watch that battery just with that app and save yourself a bunch of money on a simple install. And through this testing for 3 weeks, we ran our set power fridge freezer constantly off of the 100 amp hour battery, and it performed flawlessly. As far as the heated aspect of this battery, we haven't been able to test it. There are tests on the internet. It seems to work well. We'll know better when winter comes around. But as far as this time of year, there's not really a way we can test the heating capability of this battery. And if there is some information we need to add, we'll add it in one of our videos in the future. So that's it for our review of this Group 24 heated Bluetooth LiTime battery and LiTime 40 amp DC to DC charger. We hope you found it helpful. If you'd like to purchase any LiTime products, use this discount code for a 6% discount on your purchase, or check out the link in the comments. See you next time.